Welcome back to Haunted America, where we explore the most chilling corners of U.S. history, the places that whisper back. I'm your host, and tonight we're in San Antonio, Texas, standing just across from the Alamo, in the shadow of a neo-Gothic building that's earned a reputation as one of America's most haunted hotels, the Emily Morgan Hotel. This is not just any old hotel. Its walls were once home to a hospital, a morgue, surgery rooms, and even a psychiatric ward. And with that history comes a lot of restless energy. Before we get into tonight's episode, if you guys have any haunted tales or ideas for future episodes and places to cover, you can email me at hauntedamericapodcast@gmail.com. Now, let's dive into the Emily Morgan Hotel. To understand the ghosts of the Emily Morgan, we first need to know its past. The site of the hotel is deeply tied to Texas history, just steps away from the Alamo, where over 600 men had died in battle. But the building itself wasn't originally a hotel. In 1924, it was built as the Medical Arts Building, housing offices for more than 100 medical professionals, doctors, dentists, and functioning like a full hospital. Inside there were surgical suites, a psychiatric ward, and in the basement, a morgue and crematorium. Over time, the building transitioned from its medical role. In 1984, it became a hotel, and later was renovated and became part of the Doubletree by Hilton family. So if you go searching for this now, it's Doubletree by Hilton, just next to the Alamo. Now let's talk about the spooky, because that's what we're all here for, right? The Emily Morgan Hotel is widely regarded as haunted, and there are certain places in the building where ghostly activity is most often reported: the 7th, 9th, 12th, and 14th floors, plus the basement. The 17th floor, for instance, was once a psychiatric ward. Ghostly visitors there have included a ghost bride, who reportedly wanders the halls shrieking in the night. On the 12th floor, which used to be the surgery level, guests say they hear hospital stretchers, faucets turning on and off by themselves, and even see apparitions of nurses pushing gurneys, only for them to vanish. I personally have stayed on the 12th floor. No. The 14th floor, technically the hotel skips the 13th floor for superstition, but it's the 13th floor, is particularly eerie. Many reports a strong smell of antiseptic or Band-Aid odor, like being in a hospital waiting room. And then, of course, there's the basement. It was once the building's morgue and crematorium. Orbs, disembodied voices, and the smell of burning flesh have been reported by staff. So what do people actually see and hear in the Emily Morgan Hotel? The vanishing nurse. One of the most famous hauntings. Guests say they've seen a nurse in a 1920s or 30s uniform walking the hallways. She disappears when approached, as though she's doing her rounds in another era. Number 2 would be the elevator anomalies. The elevators are notorious. Guests report them stopping on the 7th floor, even though no guest hit the 7th floor button. People feel a cold chill just before the doors open. Then there's room 810. Room 810 has a haunted reputation. Some guests say they wake up feeling like they're being watched or hear whispered voices at night when they're alone. Then we got the steps on the 9th floor. In the dead of night, people have heard footsteps pacing in the hallway, but when they check, there's no one there. In the lobby, there are reports of cold phantom touches, like someone or something is brushing up against the guest's shoulder, even when no one is around. Guests have also reported seeing unusual reflections in mirrors or shadowy figures that vanish when looked at directly. Then we have electronic malfunctions. Devices act up, lights flicker, TVs turn on and off without warning. Some say it's spirits meddling. Others might chalk it up to old wiring. But for ghost hunters, it's fuel for investigations. Then we have hospital scenes in the hallway. On the 14th floor, or the 13th, it's really the 13th, some guests open their doors into a corridor that feels like a hospital waiting area, only to blink and the scene is gone. So it's like the energy of that floor is just putting a whole different picture into your mind. It didn't happen to me when I was there, but it would have been cool too. And then finally, basement moans and orbs. Staff working in or near the basement report seeing glowing orbs, hearing anguished voices, and smelling something like burning flesh. Alright, before we dive back into tonight's haunted tale, I've got to tell you something that actually keeps me going through all these late night investigations, and that's Dubby energy. Look, when you're up at 2 a.m. reviewing EVP recordings or scrolling through ghost footage, the last thing you need is a sugar crash or shaky hands. Dubby gives you clean, focused energy. No jitters, no crash, and definitely no creepy side effects. It's packed with natural caffeine, vitamins, and nootropics. Everything you need to stay alert when the shadows start to move. And if you want to try it yourself, here's a little treat. Or maybe a trick. Head to dubby.gg. Use the code HAUNT10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's HAUNT10 to get 10% off and keep your energy level higher than your EMF readings. Dubby Energy. Fuel your focus and maybe your next ghost hunt. So why here? Why this building? There are a few reasons people believe the hauntings at Emily Morgan carry more weight than simple ghost stories. History, death, and medicine. The building's past as a hospital, crematorium, and psychiatric ward means that this was a place of suffering, life, and death. Gargoyles and symbolism. The exterior design is Gothic. Gargoyles line the walls, and they represent various medical ailments. Residual energy. Many paranormal experts suggest that spirits can remain attached to places where strong emotional or physical events occurred, especially if those places were sites of trauma, like surgery floors, morgues, or wards. And the echoes of Alamo history. With the hotel being so close to the Alamo and built on a historically significant ground, some even think spirits from the battles past may linger in or around the building. Paranormal tales aren't just from tour guides. Real guests and even staff have shared unsettling stories. One guest said they felt strong chills and hairs standing up while walking through the hotel on a ghost tour, though they didn't feel any threat, just a heavy presence. A former worker claimed that cleaning staff would quit rather than enter the area that was once a morgue. Well, I feel like if you work in that place, you should know that before. Anyways, another guest reported that the elevator stopped, opened, and when they looked out, there was no one there. Then the doors just shut again. That's kind of going back to stopping on the floor and appearing like a hospital waiting room. And yes, some skeptics working at the hotel suggest that ghost stories might be exaggerated for tourists. But whether skeptics or believers, so many independent reports over decades make it difficult to simply write it all off. So, does the Emily Morgan Hotel harbor real ghosts? Or is it just well-crafted haunted attraction? The stories, the history, the visitor reports, they're all compelling, right? If you ever find yourself in San Antonio, staying there isn't just a night of being in a luxury hotel. It's a front row seat to the past, a place where medicine, mortality, and memory may still linger in its halls. Thank you for joining me on Haunted America. If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe, follow, leave a review, and share with other ghost story lovers. I'd love to know, would you spend a night on the 7th or 13th, really the 14th, whatever, floor of the Emily Morgan Hotel? Until next time, keep your lights on and your ears open.